Good morning, Pinnacle Babies. Good morning, Future CPAs. So let's discuss. Good morning, Pinnacle Babies. Good morning, Future CPAs. So let's discuss taxation, final pre-boards. As you can see, sinulat ko lahat ng solutions on the board para mas maging efficient ang discussion natin. But don't worry, isa-isahin ko yan. Okay? Po-point out ko yung key points per item. Are you ready? Sige, let's start with number 1. The following are the basic principles of a sound tax system except ang principles of sound tax system ay yung A, C, and D. Yung letter B, it is levied by the lawmaking body of the state. Characteristics of tax yan. So, letter B yung answer natin for number 1. Number 2, deduction is not allowed to. Answer dito is letter D, an individual whose sole income is from his employment. Kasi kapag purely compensation income earner, wala tayong allowable deductions. Okay? Number 3, which of the following best describes the lifeblood theory of taxation? Best answer dito is letter C. The underlying basis of taxation is government necessity. For without taxation, a government can neither exist nor endure. Number 4, for income tax purposes, the source of income is important for the taxpayer who is yung letter A and B, resident citizen yan, so taxable within and without. Yung letter D, domestic corporation, taxable within and without din yan. Yung letter C naman, non-resident Filipino citizen, working and residing in UAE, non-resident citizen yan. Taxable lang siya within. Kaya important sa kanya yung source of income. Okay? Letter C for number 4. Number 5, which of the following is an item of gross income? Yung letter A, subject to CGT. Yung letter C and D naman, subject to final withholding tax. Yung letter B, sagot natin because yung gain on sale of real property by a real estate dealer, ordinary asset yan. So, pag may gain ka, pag binenta mo yan, magiging ordinary income which is part of gross income. Letter B for number 5. Number 6, statement 1, in order for passive income to be subjected to final tax, the income must be derived from sources within or without the Philippines. Mali yan. Dapat within the Philippines lang yan. And usually, bank deposit dapat. Statement 2, dividend income earned by a resident citizen is always subject to 10% final tax. Hindi always. Kasi kapag ang nag-declare ng dividends ay RFC or NRFC, ordinary income yan. Hindi yan subject to final tax. So both are false. Letter D for number 6. Number 7, statement 1, for interest income, the residence of the borrower determines the source of the income. That's correct. Statement 2, for dividends, the place of business, mali na yun, dapat nationality of the corporation determines the source of income. Statement 3, for rent, the location of the property determines the source of income. That's correct. Statement 4, for gain on sale of real property, dapat yan, for gain on sale of real property, dapat yan, the location of the property determines the source of income. True, false, true, false. Only 2 statements are correct. Letter B for number 5. Number 6, number 7 pala. Number 8, which of the following properties constitutes the common property of the husband and wife under absolute community of properties? Yung A, B, and D, lahat yan ay exclusive. Ang common dito is letter C, car donated to the wife before marriage. Kasi yung donation nangyari siya before marriage. Ngayon, pag kinasal, lahat ng properties na dadalhin sa marriage ay magiging common property ng husband and wife. That's why letter C yung sagot natin for number 8. Number 9, which of the following properties constitutes the conjugal property of the husband and wife under conjugal partnership of gains? Yung A, B, and C, lahat yan ay exclusive. While yung D, income received during marriage from the apartment house inherited by husband. Lahat ng fruits or income during marriage ay kay conjugal na for husband and wife under conjugal partnership of gains. Letter D for number 9. Number 10, X sells bags in Manila through a retail store. He pays VAT on his gross sales to BAR and municipal license tax based on the same gross sales of the city of Manila. He comes to you for advice because he thinks he is being subjected to double taxation. What advice would you give him? So yung isa ay nagbabayad siya ng VAT, which is a national tax. Yung isa naman, municipal license sa City of Manila, which is a local tax. Allowed yan. Okay? So, walang problema dyan. Letter D, double taxation is allowed when one tax is imposed by the national government and the other by local government. So, yeah, so let's go to numbers 11 to 16. 6 questions. So, focus kayo dito. Ito yung solution natin. Okay? So, let's see. Basically, tinatanong sa atin yung income tax payable per quarter. Let's read the given. X is an owner of a cafe in Manila. In 2025, he signified his intention to be taxed at 8%. On his first quarter IDR, he provided the following information. Meron tayong gross sales, cost of goods sold, may computation na rin ng gross income, business expenses, interest income from Metrobank, net of final withholding tax. Take note na bank deposit yan. So, ibig sabihin, subject to 20% final withholding tax. And naka-net yan, ibig sabihin, kailangan i-gross up natin mamaya. I-divide natin by 80%. Dividends from domestic corporation, ito ay exempt from final withholding tax. BIR form, ito may CWT tayo, ibig sabihin, ito yung mga advance payments. Additional information upon examination of the returns filed by X. 50,000 of business expenses mentioned above represents payment of excess residential condominium rent. So, yung 50,000 na yan, since kinagamit yan for personal expenses ni X, non-deductible yan. Tatanggalin natin yan later yan sa business expenses. Okay, next bullet, part of the business expenses is the interest expense. He incurred with this loan with Metrobank amounting to 30,000 which was deducted in full. So, alam natin kapag meron kang interest income, meron din tayong tinatawag na non-deductible interest expense which is 20% of grossed up interest income. Okay? So, sagutan natin yung income tax payable per quarter. Take note, nag 8% income tax rate option. Ang ginawa ko dito, start tayo with gross sales na 500. GSR plus non-operating income yan. Tama, wala ka namang non-operating income dito. So, GS tayo. Minus exempt na 250. Makukuha natin yung net taxable income na 250,000 times 8%. Tax due natin is 20,000. But take note, income tax payable yung tanong. Minus mo yung CWT because bayad na yan. 19,500 our answer for the first quarter, letter B for number 11. Doon tayo sa second quarter. So, cumulative yung computation natin. First quarter gross sales ay 500. Second quarter is 800,000. Kaya ako nakuha yung 1.3 million. Minus 250. Net taxable income is 1,050,000. Times 8%. Income tax due natin is 84,000. Don't forget na i-minus yung CWT. CWT nung quarter 1 is 500. Quarter 2 is 800. Doon ko nakuha yung 1.3. Minus mo yung 19.5 na binayad natin ng quarter 1 because cumulative yung computation natin. Income tax payable is 63,200, letter B for number 12. Number 13 for third quarter, same process. Gross sales natin na cumulative as of quarter 3 is 2.8 million minus 20,000 na exempt. Net taxable income natin is 2,550,000 times 8%, 204,000 yan. Minus ko yung total na CWT which is 2,800. 500 plus 1,3 plus 1,5, yun yung 2,800. And then, ang ginawa ko dito, minus ko yung binayad natin ng first quarter na 19,500, second quarter 63,200, income tax payable natin is 118,500, letter D for number 13. Number 14, as you can see, ay annual computation na. And exceed tayo ng VAT threshold, 3.6 million yung gross sales. Ibig sabihin, hindi tayo pwede mag 8% income tax rate option. Tax table ang gagamitin natin. Ibig sabihin din, we can deduct cost of goods sold as well as yung business expenses. So, gross sales natin is 3.6 million. Cost of sales, 1,440. Nakuha ko yung gross income na 2,160,000. And take note, yung business expenses natin na 432,000, meron dyan na 50,000 na rent na non-deductible. Yan yung ginamit sa personal expense as mentioned sa first bullet. So, minus ko yung 50,000. Sir, ano yung 2,000 na interest expense na yan? Tingin ka dun sa column na annual, nakita mo yung interest income na 8,000. Di ba meron tayong non-deductible interest expense which is based on 20% of grossed up interest income. So, ang ginawa ko dyan, 8,000 divide ko by 80%, nakuha ko is 10,000. 10,000 times 20% is 2,000. Okay? So, ingat ka kasi nakalagay sa interest income, net of FWT. Ibig sabihin, naka-minus na dyan yung 20%, kaya grinos up ko muna. Allowable deductions na natin is 380,000. Makukuha natin net taxable income, 1,780,000. I-tax table natin siya. Doon siya sa between 800,000 and 2 million. 102,500 tax due natin, plus 25% in excess of 800,000. Income tax due mo dito is 347,500. And take note na income tax payable, yung question sa atin, minus natin yung binayad natin 19,500, 63,200, and 118,500, as well as yung total na CWT na 3,600. Final answer natin is 142,700, letter B for number 14. Okay, number 15, in the reconciliation of net income per books against net taxable income, how much income will you deduct from the net income to arrive at the net taxable income? So, ito yung reconciliation. Basically, alin daw dito yung non-taxable income or yung mga income subject to final tax. Dalawa lang yan. Ang subject to final tax natin na yung interest income na 10,000. Nakuha ko yung 10,000. Yung 8,000 divide ko by 80%. Okay? So, non-taxable income yan. Oh, sorry. Yan ay income subject to final tax. And yung dividend income, exempt yan. So, iyan yung kailangan nating i-minus sa net income para mag-arrive tayo sa net taxable income. Okay? So, 22,000, sagot natin dyan. For number 15 is letter C. So, take note yung number 15, basically ang tinatanong sa atin, how much daw yung income subject to final tax and how much yung income na exempt from income tax. Yun yung dalawa na yan. While yung number 16 naman, in the reconciliation of net income per books against net taxable income, how much expenses will you add back to the net income to arrive at the net taxable income? Basically, how much naman daw yung non-deductible expense? Dalawa yan. Yung interest expense na 2,000 kanina, as well as yung rent expense of 50,000, total of 52,000, letter B for number 16. Number 17. Number 17, allowing of electronic signature for some BIR forms is a manifestation of which principles of sound tax system? Administrative visibility. Para mas convenient yung filing and payment of income tax. Number 18, which of the following transactions is subject to 6% CGT? Yung A, B, and D, lahat yan ay ordinary asset. Yung letter C, sale of vacant lot by an employee in a capital asset na subject to 6% CGT. Letter C for number 18. Number 19, which of the following individual taxpayers is not entitled to claim 20,000 tax exemption from their gross business income? Basically, alin daw dito yung hindi mata-tax stable? Letter C, sagot, a Japanese residing in his home country who stayed in the Philippines for 2 months for vacation because ang classification niya is NRA NETB, which is subject to 25% final withholding tax. Letter C for number 19. Number 20, which is true? Assume all incomes are derived from within the Philippines. Number 1, a resident citizen who is an employee has no other option but to use a graduated tax rate on his compensation. Tama naman yan. Number 2, a Filipino contract worker or OFW has the option to use 8% on his business income derived within the Philippines. Tama din yan. Number 3, a Filipino contract worker or OFW in USA with expenses in the Philippines is a mixed income earner. Mali yun. Dapat, para maging mixed income earner ka, dapat ay employed ka in the Philippines and may business ka in the Philippines or exercise of profession. So, dapat pareho na sa Philippines yan. So, true, false, letter A, 1 and 2 only. Okay, so let's go to the next 4 questions. Ang solution naman natin is, tingin kayo dito. Ito yung solution natin. Sige, sa individual earns an annual salary of 1.5 million, inclusive, so kasama na ha, 13-month and other benefits, 80,000, mandatory SSS and PhilHealth, 3,500 and 2,000, 5,500 yung total niyan. And take note na she owns a VAT-registered convenience store. Compute muna natin yung gross compensation income, 1.5 million yan, given sa problem. I-minus natin yung SSS and PhilHealth, 5,500 yun. And yung exempt na 13th month, maximum is 90,000, pero 80,000 lang daw yung 13th month and other benefits. Ang taxable compensation income natin is 1,414,500. Doon naman tayo sa business income. Gross sales, diretso compute na tayo. Gross sales na 3 million, minus natin yung sales discount na 300,000, minus sales returns and allowances 150, minus cost of sales na 1 million, minus operating expenses 600,000, plus other non-operating income, ang makukuha mo dyan na taxable business income is 1,050,000. Pag in-add mo yung dalawa na yan, ang makukuha mong total na net taxable income is 2,464,500. Tingin ka sa number 22, how much is the total net taxable income? Letter D, 2,464,500 for number 22. Balik tayo sa 21. Can the taxpayer avail of the 8% income tax rate? Hindi pwede kasi meron siyang VAT-registered na convenience store. Once VAT-registered, disqualified na siya sa 8% income tax rate, letter C. Number 23, how much daw yung income tax payable? So, kung hindi ka pwede mag 8%, tax table gagamitin natin. Na-compute na natin earlier, yung net taxable income natin, total is 2,464,500. Papasok siya dun sa between 2 million and 8 million. Tax due natin is 402,500 plus 30% in excess of 2 million. Ang makukuha kong tax due dito is 541,850. Pero take note, ang tanong sa ating income tax payable, pag tumingin ka dun sa last item, meron tayong income tax payments sa 300,000. Final answer, 241,850. Letter A tayo for number 23. Okay, tiyan din tayo how much daw yung output VAT, if any. Well, VATable yan. Ang basis ng VAT natin is gross sales na dapat nakaless yung sales discounts and sales returns and allowances. Let's compute. May gross sales tayo na 3 million, minus sales discount na 300,000, minus sales returns and allowances na 150. Doon ko nakuha yung gross sales na, nasaan yan? Gross sales na, okay, sulat ko ba yung solution natin? Ito, 2,550,000. Doon ko nakuha yan, ha? Times 12% VAT, output VAT natin is 306,000, letter B for number 24. 25. Doon mo tayo sa question, which is the correct basis for VAT registration? Dapat yung mga subject to VAT lang. Okay, so an individual taxpayer reported the following. Sales from hardware store, yan, so kasama yan sa tax base natin, 2 million. Export sales, kasama yan. Kahit zero rated yan, kasama yan. Sales from agricultural produce in its original state, hindi kasama kasi exempt yan eh. Receipts from passenger jeepney, hindi rin kasi subject yan sa Common Carriers Tax or CCT. So ang subject lang to VAT ay yung 2 million and 1.5. So ang tax base mo dyan sa VAT is letter C, 3.5 million. Number 26, this is an inherent limitation of the power of taxation. A, B, and C, lahat ng constitutional, ang inherent ay letter D, tax laws cannot apply to the property of foreign governments. Number 27 to 30. So, tingnan natin. Number 27 to 30, ito yung solution natin. So, tingin kayo dito. Sige, so ano ba yung mga questions sa atin, sir? Tingnan natin, mga income tax payable yung tanong sa atin. Let's read the given. Gross receipts, 5.5 million. Ito siya. Dito ko na yung gross receipts, minus 2 million natin na cost of service. Salaries and wages, 800,000. Rental is 285,000. Deductible, pareho yan. Fines and penalties, non-deductible yan. Lagyan mo na X. Representation expense naman, or year, syempre may limit tayo. Actual natin is 75,000. Limit natin is 1% ng 5.5 million. Ano 1% ng 5.5 million? 55,000. So, ibig sabihin, yung year natin or yung representation expense, 55,000 lang yung deductible. Transpo, deductible yan. Depreciation, deductible. Supplies, deductible. Miscellaneous expense, deductible. So, itotal nga natin lahat ng deductible expenses. Salaries and wages, 800,000. Rental, 285,000. Representation expense, 55,000. Transportation, 25. Depreciation, 15. Supplies, 10. Miscellaneous, 10. Ang total mo dyan ay 1.2 million. Okay? That's why, sa number 27, how much is the total? Allowable itemized deductions, letter A yung sagot natin dyan. Okay? Next, ituloy natin yung computation. Net taxable income natin is 2.3 million. Binigyan tayo ng tax table. Papasok siya sa between 2 million and 8 million. Tax due natin is 402,500 plus 30%. In excess of 2 million, income tax due mo dyan is 492,500. Take note, sa given may CWT, lagi mo i-minus yan, 275, and payments na 186,20. Income tax payable natin is 36,880. Letter A tayo for number 28. Assuming the taxpayer opted for 8% income tax rate option, how much daw yung income tax payable? Pwede ba siyang mag 8% income tax rate option? Answer is, hindi pwede. Bakit, sir? Kasi yung gross receipts mo, 5.5 million, nag-exceed siya ng VAT threshold na 3 million. So, sagot mo dito ay letter A pa din, which is as if tax stable ka pa rin. Dahil bawal kang mag 8% income tax rate option, letter A for number 29. Assuming OSD naman. And we know, kapag OSD, yan ay 40% of gross income. So, tingnan natin. So, number 30, individual pala, pinag-uusapan natin. Pag individual, 40% ng gross receipts. Ano yung gross receipts natin? 5.5 million. 40% ng 5.5 million ay 2.2 million. Yan yung OSD natin. Take note, kapag individual, ang OSD is based on gross receipts. Kapag corporation, OSD is based on gross income. Okay? So, net taxable income natin is 3.3 million. I-tax table natin siya. Papasok siya sa between 2 million and 8 million. So, 402,500 plus 30% excess of 2 million. Income tax due mo is 792,500. Minus natin yung CWT na 275,000 and yung payments natin na 186,20. Final answer, 336,880. Letter B for number 30. 31, which of the following is not one of the constitutional limitations, yung letter B, because yung non-delegability of the taxing power is an inherent limitation. Number 32, which of the following is not correct? A, B, and D, tama lahat yan. Yung C, mali. Bakit? Bakit, sir? The election of OSD is irrevocable for the year. Okay? for which the choice is made sa buong year, irrevocable na yan. Hindi yan per quarter. Alright? Number 33, which of the following is required to register under the VAT system? Among the choices, ang required to register ay yung letter B, any person engaged in vatable transactions whose annual gross sales exceeded 3 million. Pag ganyan, magiging VAT registrable taxpayer ka na dyan. Okay? Number 34, statement 1. Amounts received by reason of involuntary separation remain exempt from income tax. Actually, tama naman yun kasi involuntary. Pag out of control ng employee, exempt yan. Ang nagpamali dito yung may unless. Unless the official or employee at the time of separation has rendered less than 10 years of service or is below 50 years of age. Walang ganong requirement. Okay? Yung at least 50 years old, yung nag-render na at least 10 years of service, para yan sa retirement pay. Okay? Dun siya. Hindi siya sa separation pay. Okay? So, false yan. Statement 2, tama ito. Any amount received by an official or employee, other physical, or any cost beyond control, basta ganun, exempt from income tax. That's correct. Only statement 2 is true. Number 35. Sige. X won the gold in the boxing lightweight division in the recently concluded Olympic Games. An activity being prioritized, so priority activity ng government yan, by the Philippine government. By virtue of this achievement, he brought honor to the country and was given 1 million cash by a car dealer coursed through the National Sports Commission. Statement 1. The prize received by X is exempt from income tax. Exempt yan. Ba? Yung mga winnings ng mga athletes natin, especially dito sa Olympic Games. Statement 2. The car dealer can deduct a contribution in full for income tax purposes. Tama din yun because priority activity yan. Take note na sa allowable deductions natin, contributions ay deductible in full kapag priority activity ng government. So both are true. Letter C for number 35. 36, tax credit for foreign tax paid is allowed on. Yung A, C, and D, hindi yan dahil taxable lang yan within. Pero yung letter B, estate tax paid by a resident alien, within and without yan. Kasi pag estate and donors tax, basta resident or citizen, ay taxable within and without. So yung binayaran nila abroad na tax, pwede nila i-claim as tax credit in the Philippines. Letter B for number 36. 37. Under installment reporting of income, statement 1, if the property has no mortgage, contract price is equal to selling price. Tama yan. Statement 2, if the mortgage assumed is less than the cost, the contract price is equal to selling price minus mortgage assumed. That's also correct. Statement 3, ito yung mali. Bakit, sir? If the mortgage assumed is higher than the cost, the contract price is equal to selling price minus mortgage. Dapat yan plus excess of mortgage over cost. Minus kasi nakalagay. So, only 2 statements are correct. Letter B for number 37. Let's go to the computations. 38 to, and for the next 5 questions hanggang 42. So, tingin kayo dito. An individual bought 5,000 shares of GHI, a domestic non-listed corporation at par value. So, yung cost niya dito ay 5,000 times 1,000 na par value or 5 million na cost. Okay? So, cost is 5 million. And then, during the year, he sold the shares for 10 million. Yung selling price, 10 million. The book value per share in its latest FS is 2,500 per share. Iyon naman yung basis ng fair market value. Okay? Number 38, how much is the CGT? Ang CGT ay 15% ng gain. So, selling price na 10 minus yung cost na 5, meron tayong gain ng 5 million. Multiply natin by 15%, ang CGT natin is 750,000. Letter C for number 38. How much is the stock transactions tax? Yun yung 6/10 of 1%. Pero hindi applicable dito yun because para lang yun sa mga listed shares. Ang nakalagay sa first sentence, non-listed corporation daw, non-letter A for number 39. 40, how much daw is the DST on the sale of shares? Take note na par value yung shares dito. So, ang magiging basis natin is 1.5 for every 200 pesos of par value. Ang par dito is 5 million. 1.5 for every 200. So, divide by 200 times 1.5, 37,500. Letter B for number 40. Number 41, how much daw yung donor tax? Sir, bakit nagkaroon donor tax dyan? Because ang fair market value dito is 12.5 million. Saan mo nakuha, sir, yung 12.5 million? Ang binenta na shares ay 5,000 shares. And then, ang book value is 2,500. So, ang book value per share, yun din ang basis natin ng fair market value, 5,000 times 2.5, fair market value is 12.5 million. Okay? Binenta lang siya for 10 million. Ibig sabihin, meron tayong transfer for insufficient consideration na 2.5 million, which is a taxable gift. Alright? Now, don't forget lang na i-minus mo yung exempt. Sa donor's tax, may exempt na 250,000. Tama ba? So, minus mo muna yan. Ang taxable gift natin is 2.25 million times 6%. Donor's tax is 135,000. Letter B for number 41. Number 42 naman, assume that the taxpayer donated the 5,000 shares instead of selling them. How much is the donor's tax due? Dinonate niya lahat. Okay? Hindi niya binenta. So in that case, syempre, fair market value, the date of donation, na-compute natin yung fair market value, which is 12.5 million. Don't forget na i-minus yung exempt na 250. Taxable natin is 12.25 million times 6%. Donor's tax, 735,000. Letter C for number 42. 43, one of the following compensation income of an individual is not an exclusion from gross income. Yung A, C, and D, lahat yan ay exclusion. While yung B, separation pay of an employee who resigned. Pag nag-resign within the control of an employee yan, taxable yan. For number 43, it's letter B. 44, which of the following is correct? Tingnan natin kung bakit mali yung mga ibang choices. Letter A, a GPP is taxable. Mali, exempt yan. Letter B, a consortium for energy operations, etc. is exempt dapat. Taxable yung nakalagay. Letter C, a joint venture for undertaking construction projects. Dapat yan licensed ng PCAB. Pag hindi licensed, ay taxable yan. Letter D ang tama. A co-ownership where the activities extend to the development and collection of income. Taxable na yung pag ganun. Letter D ang tama for number 44. 45, the monetary value of this fringe benefit is 100%. Yung A, B, and D, yung A and D, ayan ay 50%. Yes, 50%. Ngayon, yung B, name of employer, hindi employee yung nakalagay. Ang 100% lang dito ay yung C, kasi iyan ay employer purchased the car in the name of the employee. May transfer of ownership, 100% yung letter C. Number 46, installment reporting of income is allowed to the following except allowed siya sa A, C, and D. Sa letter B, okay sana kaya lang, one who makes casual sale of personal property for a selling price of more than 1,000 and the initial payments not exceeding 25% of, dapat 25% of the selling price, hindi contract price. Letter B for number 46. 47, a taxpayer has just been paid 1 million on account of life insurance of the deceased husband. She asks you whether he shall declare the amount for income tax or estate tax purposes. First advice, the proceeds of the life insurance paid to the beneficiary upon the death of the insured are exempt from income tax and need not be declared for income tax purposes. Yung first advice, basta life insurance, hindi yan subject to tax. Hindi yan subject to income tax. Whether revocable or irrevocable, hindi mo gumatter yun. Basta proceeds from life insurance, exempt sa income tax. So yung first advice is correct. Second advice, the proceeds of life insurance will have to be declared for estate tax purposes if the designation is revocable. Otherwise, they need to be declared. Actually, tama din yan. Because for estate tax purposes naman, kapag ang excluded lang from gross estate ay kapag irrevocable at others ang beneficiary. Okay? Dito, revocable na nakalagay. So, otherwise daw, kapag irrevocable, hindi na kailangan i-declare. Yes, kasi pag irrevocable ay excluded from gross estate. Okay? So, tama pareho yan. For number 47, both advices are correct. 48, which of the following is incorrect for PEZA-registered entities? A, B, and D, actually tama yan. Ang mali dyan ay C. Entities may avail the PEZA incentives provided their business is one of the preferred activities under the Investment Priorities Plan. Mali yan kasi Investment Priorities Plan, applicable yan sa Board of Investments or BOI. Letter C for number 48. Number 49, which of the following is incorrect for local taxation? A, B, and C, tama yan. Letter D, mali. Bakit, sir? Dapat yan, the provinces na nakalagay, dapat barangays. The barangays have the largest share from local tax and on sand, gravel, and other quarry resources. Letter D for number 49. I think 40% ang share ng barangays. 50, a Filipino citizen residing in Manila earns 100,000 income from renting his house and lot in Japan. Statement 1, the rent income is an income derived from sources within the Philippines. Actually, tama yan. Kasi ang magiging... False pala yung statement 1. Ulitin natin. So dito may rent income. And syempre, may rent income ka from a property. Ngayon, ang situs ng property is yung location of the property. Ang nakalagay dito, house and lot in Japan. So outside the Philippines. Nakalagay dito sa statement 1, derived from within the Philippines. Mali, because ang situs is yung location of property, which is Japan, outside the Philippines. Dapat statement 1 is false. Statement 2, the rent income is taxable. Taxable yan kasi nakalagay Filipino citizen residing in Manila. Ibig sabihin, resident citizen, taxable within and without the Philippines. True yung statement 2, letter B. Only statement 2 is true. 51. Why a Filipino residing in Manila borrowed 300,000 from X, an OFW living in Taiwan. As a result, X earned interest income. Okay? So, residence of the debtor ang situs natin. Sino ba debtor dito? Yung umutang, si Y. Ano yung residence niya? Tiga Manila siya. So, ibig sabihin, within the Philippines. No? Statement 1, the interest income by X is an income derived from sources within the Philippines. Tama yan. Statement 2, the interest income is subject to regular or normal tax. Tama din. Hindi yan subject to final tax. Ang subject to final tax ay kapag interest income from bank deposit. Letter C, both statements are true. Number 52. Okay, so an individual taxpayer, tingin kayo dito, ito yung solution ko dyan. An individual taxpayer operates a convenience store and also offers bookkeeping services to her clients. In 2025, her gross sales amounted to 1.2 million. Gross receipts from bookkeeping, 400. Cost of sales, operating expenses, 700, 300. And then, nag-8% income tax rate option siya. Ang gagawin ko dyan, GSR plus non-operating income, or GSR, 1.6 million. Iyan yung 1.2 plus 400,000. Don't forget, i-minus yung 250. Net taxable income is 1.35 million times 8%. 108,000. Iyan yung income tax due natin, or income tax payable natin, letter C, for number 52. Which is false. Yung B and C, tama yan. Yung A naman, the taxpayer must reply to PAN within 15 days from receipt of the PAN. Hindi yan. Actually, optional yan. Hindi yan, ang taxpayer ay hindi required na mag-reply sa PAN. Okay? Letter A. Pero syempre, pag ang taxpayer ay hindi nag-reply sa FAN, within 30 days from the receipt of FAN, yung assessment shall be final and irrevocable na yan. Okay? Sige. Number 54 and 55, ito naman ay VAT computation. So, tingin kayo dito. A VAT registered taxpayer has the following transactions. First question, how much is the standard withholding VAT? Yan ay 5% sa sales to government. May dalawang sales dito. Sale of goods to private entities and sale to a government o GOCC. Yan lang yung subject to 5% na standard withholding VAT. 1 million times 5%, yan yung standard input VAT or SIV natin, 50,000. Letter B for number 54. How much naman daw yung VAT payable? Tingnan natin. Meron tayong dalawang klaseng sales dito. Yung private entities na 2.5 million at sales to government na 1 million, dun ko nakuha 3.5. Times 12% kasi net of VAT eh. Pag net of VAT, VAT exclusive, diretso multiply ang 12%. Output VAT natin is 420. Sa input VAT, hiniwalay ko yung computation. Yung isa, purchase of goods sold to entities, gross of VAT daw. Pag gross of VAT, inclusive of VAT. Kaya 896 times 12 over 112, 96,000. While yung isa naman, purchase of goods sold to GOCC, net of VAT, 700, diretso multiply ang 12%. And don't forget na may na-withhold na tayo na 50,000 before, which is yung sales to government, kaya ang VAT payable mo na lang is 190,000, letter B for number 55. Okay, number 56. Which of the following is not subject to excise tax? A, C, and D, subject yan. Yung purely electric vehicles, exempt yan from excise tax. Letter B for number 56. Sige, doon naman tayo sa numbers 57 and 58. Ito naman ay GPP. So tingin kayo dito, alam natin, ang GPP is exempt from income tax. Ang mga partners are taxable under separate and individual capacity. A and B are partners in the GPP, which realized sales of 8 million, cost of sales, operating expenses, 5 million and 2 million. So, net income ng GPP is 1 million. Okay? And then, si A, meron doon siya sariling income na 400,000. Ito yan. So, may 400,000 siya. And then, cost of sales, operating expenses, 230 and 30. Mamaya na si B. And then, last sentence, P&L nila ay 70-30. So yung 1 million, hati sila. Si A 70%, 700,000. Si B 30%, 300,000. Yung share na yan, yan nilagay ko sa ITR ni A na 700,000. Pag in-add mo lahat yan, net taxable income ni A is 840,000. For number 57, net taxable income of A, if he claims itemized deductions, letter B, 840,000. Yung 58 naman, net taxable income of B, if both B and GPP, nag-OSD sila. Pag OSD is 40% of gross income. So, ang ginawa ko dito, dumunta tayo kay GPP, sales na 8 million minus 5 million, gross income niya is 3 million. Ang 40% ng 3 million is 1.2 million, yun yung OSD. That's why yung net income ng GPP is 1.8 million. 70-30 sila, 1.8 times 70%, ang marireceive ni A is 1,260, si B naman 30%, 540. Take note na si B ang tinatanong sa problem. Share ni B, separate capacity, 540. And then, tingin ka doon sa second to the last sentence, may income si B na 450,000. Meron siyang cost of sales, mag-OOSD daw si B. Okay, so take note, ang 40% ni B, ang basis nun ay yung income niya. Okay, wag mo i-40% yung share niya sa GPP. Dahil yung share niya sa GPP ay naka 40% na kanina yan. Hindi pwedeng 40 dito, isa pang 40 doon. Hindi yan. Ang magiging basis ng 40% OSD ni B ay yung own income niya na 450. 450 times 40% is 180,000. Net taxable income ni B is 810, letter D for number 58. 59. A taxpayer filed his annual ITR on May 20, 2023 for income earned during 2022. So, ibig sabihin, pwede siyang i-assess ni BAR 3 years, deadline for filing or date of filing, ito, date of filing, so plus 3 years, May 20, 2026, siya pwedeng i-assess ni BAR. The BAR examiner assessed the taxpayer October 15, 2024, so pasok naman sa time frame na 3 years. The taxpayer filed a protest plus documentary evidence November 5. So nag-appeal or nag-protest si taxpayer. The commissioner rendered his unfavorable judgment on May 10. So, pwede siya mag-appeal na lang kay Court of Tax Appeals. Kailan yun, sir? 30 days from the receipt of the decision of the CIR. May 10 plus 30 days hanggang June 9, 2025 lang siya pwedeng mag-appeal kay CTA, letter B for number 59. 60. The pertinent facts of the case of the BAR audit for taxable year 2021 are shown below. Naka-receive ng LOA, March 10, 2024. Notice of discrepancy, June 1. Receipt of PAN, July 20. Date of reply, after 11 days nag-reply. Meron naman tayong 15 days para mag-reply sa PAN, even though hindi required mag-reply sa PAN. Naka-receive na ng FAN or FLD, August 1, 2025. Pag naka-receive ka ng FAN, meron kang 30 days para mag-protest. Pero pag binilang mo yung August 1 hanggang September 1, actual number of days, iyan ay 31 days. Lumagpas ka sa 30 days na time frame. Pag lumagpas ka doon, final and irrevocable na yung nasa FAN. Okay? So, hindi ka nakapag-protest ng FAN. Based on the above, which is true, tingnan sa letter D, the assessment is final, executory, and demandable, letter D for number 60. Number 61. So, ito, computation lang to na may senior citizens discount and PWD, number 61. Ito yung solution natin dyan. A group of 4 ordered at a restaurant. Total bill, ito yung total bill for 480. How much the total amount payable? Assuming one of the customers is a senior citizen and another one is person with disability. Alam natin na sila ay may 20% discount and hindi subject sa VAT. So, ginawa ko dito, hiniwalay ko siya. 2/4 yung senior citizen and PWD. So, ang portion nila is 2,240. 4,480 times 2/4, 2,240. Dinivide ko by 1.12 para matanggal yung VAT. Because yung 2,000, iyan yung making basis ng 20% discount na 400 and 12% na VAT na 240. Sa total bill natin, i-minus mo yung discount na 400, minus mo yung VAT na 240, ang kailangan mo lang bayaran is 3,840, letter B for number 61. Okay, number 62 onwards, tignan natin. For the next 4 questions, in preparing annual ITR, the following information were extracted. Computin agad natin yung net taxable income, gross sales 1.5 million, minus cost of sales 500,000, minus salaries and wages 150, minus rent expense 50,000, minus depreciation 120, minus utilities 80, minus repairs and maintenance 100, plus rental income. Ang makukuha mo net taxable income dyan is 1.5 million. Tingin ka sa number 62, compute the net taxable income, letter D, 1.5 million. Okay, doon naman tayo sa final tax. Interest income from bank deposit, ayan ay subject to 20%. Okay, sinulat ko ba yan? So ito siya. Net taxable income, 1.5 million. Interest natin, interest income, 140,000 times 20%, yun, 28,000. Dividend from domestic corporation. Take note, ang naka-receive dito ay individual. So subject to 10%. Final tax, 100 times 10% is 10,000. Prices natin is 20%. 60,000 times 20% is 12. Add mo lahat yan, 50,000 sagot natin for number 63. Okay, 64. Tignan natin. Let's continue reading. In addition, you learn that the taxpayer intends to sell residential house and lot which he originally acquired for 3 million. He also plans to sell 1,000 shares of stock which he originally acquired for 1 million per share. So 1,000 times 1,000 yung cost niya para dun sa shares ay 1 million. He provided you with the following information on the residential house and lot. Alam natin, ang basis natin ay selling price, assessed value, or zonal value. Piliin natin kung ano yung pinakamataas. And take note na may zonal value, may assessed at may appraiser's value. I-disregard mo yung appraiser, hindi ginagamit yan. Zonal value 5 million, sa lot, pipili ka lang. May zonal na 5, may assessed na 4. Siyempre yung 5 mas mataas. Sa house naman, yung assessed ay 5. So 5 plus 5, fair market value natin dyan ay 10 million. Okay? So tingnan natin. So 64, ito yung solution ko dyan. How much daw yung, number 64, if the taxpayer sells the house and lot for 7 million, how much daw yung CGT? Ang selling price mo, 7 million. Ang fair market value is 10. Paano mo discern ako yung 10? 5 million na zonal value sa house, 5 million na zonal value sa lot, and 5 million na assessed value sa house. In-add mo yun, 10 million siya. Kasi house and lot yung binenta niya. Selling price 7, whichever is higher, 10 million times 6%, 600,000 CGT for number 64 is letter B. 65, if the taxpayer sells the shares for 2 million, how much is the CGT? So, take note na binenta natin 2 million, ang cost na compute natin kanina is 1 million, iyan yung 1,000 shares, times yung binili niya siya for 1,000 per share. Ang gain mo is 1 million, we know, subject to 15% CGT yan, 150,000 CGT for number 65, letter B. Okay, so last 5 items na lang. Siyempre, save the best for last. Donor's tax and estate tax. Donor's tax muna tayo. So, ito yung mga donations. Meron tayong 4 dates. Tingin kayo dito. Isa-isahin natin siya. June 1 muna tayo. Donee is his son A on account of his marriage celebrated in June 1. Gross gift mo is 150,000 pero ang exempt is 250, zero ka agad sa June 1 because mas mataas yung exempt kaysa dun sa gross gift. Tingin tayo sa July 10, syempre cumulative ang computation natin. Ang donate ay 400,000 second-hand motor vehicle, gross gift yan. Take note na cumulative, add mo yung prior gift na 150 minus exempt na 250, lagi yung 250,000 na exempt. Taxable mo is 300,000 times 6% donor's tax natin is 18,000 for July 10. Doon naman tayo sa September 30, ang dinonate ay 450,000. Gross gift 450. Ang prior gift, saan mo nakuha sir yung 550,000? Dito ko siya nakuha. Yung 400 plus 150 last. Yung previous gift mo. 550. Minus natin yung exempt na 250. Ang taxable gift natin 750,000 times 6%. Donor's tax mo is 45. Take note, payable ang pag-payable, i-minus yung binayad mo na 18,000 no previously, payable mo is 27,000. Ang tinanong talaga dito ay yung November 28. November 25 pala. November 25. And take note din na lahat dito, ang year ay 2025. So, kaya cumulative, i-consider natin yung prior gift natin. Okay, so ang donate nung November 25, parcel of land worth 180, yan yung gross gift natin. In-assume daw yung mortgage na 40. Add mo yung prior gift. Saan mo nakuha sir yung 1 million? Dito ko siya nakuha. Yung 450 plus 550. Yun yung prior gift natin. Minus yung exempt na 250. Taxable gift mo 890. Times 6% donor's tax rate. Donor's tax natin is 53,400. Don't forget na since cumulative yung computation, i-minus mo yung 18,000 na binayad mo on July 10 and 27,000 on September 30, ang payable natin is 8,400. Number 66, total net gift subject to tax on November 25, 890,000 yung sagot doon. While yung donor's tax payable is 84, parehong B for number 66 and 67. And last one is yung computation ng estate tax. Sige, so tiyan nun tayo ng vanishing deductions, which is syempre yun yung favorite nyo computin. Net taxable estate and estate tax due. A decedent single, so pag sinabing single, most likely, ayan ay walang surviving spouse. Okay? So wala tayong kailangan i-less na surviving spouse. Died on September 1, 2025 and left the following properties. So take note yung date of death, which is September 1, 2025. Meron siya house and lot, which is considered as family home, 25 million. Cash in bank na 1.5, apartment 7 million. PLDT shares 300, personal car 2 million. Pag tinotal mo yan, ang gross estate natin is 35.8 million. Okay? Next, the apartment, PLDT shares, and personal car were acquired by the decedent by gratuitous title with fair market values, with the following fair market value. So, ini-imply na possible na may vanishing deductions yung mga to. PLDT shares, take note na date of acquisition July 1, 2019. Ang date of death is September 1, 2025. More than 5 years yan. Alam natin, pag more than 5 years, hindi na applicable ang vanishing deduction. So, lagyan mo ng X yung PLDT shares. While yung apartment and personal car, October 1, 2023 and November 1, 2023, ang date of death ay September 1, 2025. Pareho yan pasok sa 1 to 2 years. Pwede tayong mag-vanishing deduction dyan. 80% ang rate na gagamitin natin. Okay, so the apartment land which the decedent inherited had a mortgage of 300,000 which he paid before he died. Yung mortgage paid mamaya sa apartment, sa vanishing deduction, mina-minus yun to compute the initial basis. So ito siya, 300,000. The amount of 700,000 mortgage in the family home remained unpaid. So alam natin yung unpaid mortgage, part yan ng ordinary deduction. And the personal car was totally destroyed on September 12. Tingin ka sa taas, ang personal car dyan, 2 million ang nakalagay na fair market value. So ibig sabihin, casualty loss yan, ordinary deduction. Yung minus natin yan. Later, kukumpitin natin yung vanishing deductions. Pero diretso muna tayo sa special deductions. Ang family home natin, nakalagay dyan sa first item, 25 million. Pero syempre, ang maximum mo, 10 million. So, lagay ko dyan, 10 million. Standard deduction, laging 5 million yan. And then, makukuha mo dito is net taxable estate na 12,034,748 times 6% estate tax due is 722,085. Tingin muna tayo kung paano natin na-compute yung vanishing deduction na 60,65252. Dalawa yung sources ng vanishing deductions natin, apartment and yung car. Doon muna tayo sa apartment. Yung apartment, meron siyang fair market value. Tingin ka sa table na binigay sa atin sa middle portion. Ang pipiliin mo dyan yung mas mababa. 6.5 million versus 7 million, 6.5 million. Sa car naman, 2.5 million versus 2 million, 2 million. Minus mortgage paid, makukuha mo yung initial basis na 6.2 million. Ipo-prorate natin yung ordinary deductions. Paano mo, sir, pinorate yan? Initial basis na 6.2, i-divide mo siya sa gross estate na 35.8 million, multiply mo sa 2.7. Ano, sir, yung 2.7? Ito yung unpaid mortgage and yung casualty loss kanina. Okay, yun yung ipo-prorate natin ng ordinary deductions. Sa makukuha ko dito ay 46,758. Makukuha ko yung final basis na 5,732,402 multiply by 80%. Bakit 80%, sir? Kasi between 1 to 2 years yan. Vanishing deduction natin for the apartment, 4,585,922. For car naman, 2 million ang fair market value. Walang mortgage paid, so initial basis mo 2 million. I-prorate natin to get the deductions. 2 million na initial basis, i-divide mo sa gross estate, lagi yan 35.8 million, times 2.7 million, again, yung unpaid mortgage and casualty loss, ang deduction mo dito is 150,838. Final basis, 1849162. Multiply natin by 80% because 1 to 2 years din yan, 1479330. Add mo yan, 4585922, 1479330. Pag in-add mo siya, yun yung 6065252. Number 68, compute the vanishing deductions, letter C, 6065252. And number 69, na-compute na natin yung net taxable estate based dito sa solution natin, 12,034,748, which is letter C. Estate tax due natin is 722,085. For number 69 and 70, both answers are letter C. Okay, so that's it for taxation final reports.